Yep, that's where we are. Yep.
Tower
I've selected as well.
Charlie Hotel 1 Tree Heavy at runway 5 ready for takeoff IFR to land Vetter.
Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 1 Tree Heavy cleared for takeoff runway 5.
Cleared to take off runway 5. I'll check for traffic. Okay.
Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 1 Tree Heavy, please acknowledge.
Say again?
Cleared for takeoff runway 5 Speedbird Echo Charlie
Yeah, I did.
Hotel 1 Tree Heavy.
Yeah, session. Yeah. I mean, it should still be AI. Just doesn't have live traffic from real world air or players. I'll have 2 notches, please. Thank you. Final checks. Temperatures and pressures in the green. Off we go. Gear up, please. Thank you.
Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 1 Tree Heavy, contact London Center on 118.
Contact London Centre 118.475. Acknowledge handoff.
Going to 118.475 Speedbird
That's what this
Echo
other
Charlie Hotel 1
program
Tree
is.
Heavy.
Okay, I'm going to do a right hand. Thank you. John, flaps are fully retracted. We're right. Ice detected. See? Plenty of speed. Give me a heading. Not seen yet. Oh yeah, I'm seeing it now. Absolutely. Well, you know, we can have a maximum of 35, is it? Alright, we've exceeded 11,000. Have you got flight director altitude hold on?
Hotel 1 Tree Heavy is climbing through 9,000 feet for 11,000 feet.
Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 1 Tree Heavy London Center continuous.
Did you say it's already done though?
Altimeter 29.902.
Yep, it's all good. We're 11,000, so
Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 1
set it for current heading. Go for it.
1900. Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 1 Tree Heavy, did you hear my last transmission?
Climb and maintain flight level 190 Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 1 Tree Heavy.
I got 13,200. Hang on. Continue charmingly in November Sound, 2903. Request cruising altitude increase, 29.03. How did it say? Wow. I'm not getting that in mine. Are you in London Central? Hang on, setting altimeter to 2903. Okay. Okay, altimeter set back. please expedite your descent to 11,000 feet. No, it says that the IFR flight plan is cancelled. Radio service terminated. Squawk 7000, maintain VFR. Give me some air brakes, please. Thank you.
Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 13 Heavy. Did you hear my last transmission?
Right, so we're VFR. So let's can you get the altitude on the flight director working for me, please? And let's get it up to 19,000.
Hotel 13 Heavy. Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 13 Heavy, please expedite your climb to flight level 250.
Okay. Go for it. There we go. Do you want to change heading? Yeah, you want it instead of 345. You want it 6. Look at that. Just as it. Oh, my old stomping ground. Well, yeah, we're heading up East Anglia, Norfolk Broads. Many a summer spent on the Norfolk Broads. actually pop those out, can't you? So if I put V and then pop out window. Oh, where'd it go? V. Mine just disappeared. Do you want to turn up the, increase the angle of attack? Currently. Focus speeds currently, yeah, let's increase that. I see, yeah, I see different fields, I see a couple of lights, a couple of clouds. And it's not overly remarkable. Shame they don't have USB devices connect your IP. I could have run this through on the GeForce Now. Full graphics won't, but then my controllers wouldn't work. Well, we've got a bit of time, so let's talk about the how you. Oh mate, we started this. We've got to finish it. Alright, we can chat. So, this office that you're going to have these computers in, it's going to be a maintained office, or is it just a building block? So they're providing you with an internet connection. Right. Okay, so before you do that part, are you taking care of that? Are you setting up your own ISP and whatever? Business account, yeah. Okay, so what I wanted to figure out, because you're saying that you're going to have people in multiple locations, but they're pretty much... Oh, engines are spooling down, must have hit 25,000. Cool. Saying that the people who are going to be based locally in the office will be mainly doing all the work which you're going to have stored in the office, right? As opposed to having it on the cloud. what's your current repository? Where are you currently storing it on this back end if you're all in remote? And would that be the live, and then you would back up to a remote location for disaster recovery? Right, well this is all really what the old model was before AWS, which was physical tin, remote sessions, etc, etc. If it's purely going to be a file repository with authorized access to the files, the cheapest way of doing it would be to have a network attached storage drive, which is just your basic NAS box, which is a bunch of hard drives, or a really large, dense hard drive with a network port on the back of it. And you connect multiple people into that device through a network switch. No server required. You set up local users on the device and say, right, everyone, you can access that device, save things that device. It's not ideal for large files because you're restricted by one network interface and there's no real processing power. But then if it's purely a data repository, then that's a cheap win. If you wanted a server, as in a rack space server, we need to change course. Do you want to? No, I'll let you do it. Nothing. That's it? Yeah. So, so when you're talking about a rack space server and you need all the overhead and costs and the maintaining it and mounting it and all the rest of it, is that something that you really think that you need? So it's an application. I thought Git was a public repository already in itself. Hub. That's what I was thinking. So it's like a server client. Right. So you have Git on your server, which is your repository, and then you have front ends, which are the clients that configure and connect into Git. And then you can run and update files on different versions and all the rest of it, content management, whatever it's called. Yep. just decide you've gone down a branch and it didn't work, you can roll back to whichever point you want and then start off on different branches. So, can you not do that in GitHub? Yes, because that's their cloud platform, it's their infrastructure, and it's their physical tin, and the storage location, are they not guaranteeing you data privacy and security based on the fact that you log in and you pay them? Or is I'm not a GitHub user, so intellectual property. Yeah. No, absolutely. Your suspicions are correct. My understanding of GitHub is a public repository for developers to share ideas. Yeah. So this Bitbucket. Yeah, but the Bitbucket part then is just so you give a client access, and you set the controls and the access restrictions on the client side, is what you're saying. So you don't have to do the server side permissioning. Based on their authentication token that you give them, and the client will then deem the role and the provisions that that token grants. Right, okay. So you can then just generate a token, say freelancer token role, give to it, they would automatically get whatever they need, provided they've got that application installed on their front end. And as a freelancer, they can get the front end downloaded for free or wherever. So they get the web consoles or whatever it is, but then without having your token, they wouldn't be able to access the repository. Alright. But in order for them to be able to connect to that data repository and authenticate, so the authentication layer you're saying is the Bitbucket, which is generating the tokens, yeah? The SSH tokens.
Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 13 Heavy, please expedite your climb to flight level 250.
Wow.
Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 13 Heavy, contact Amsterdam Center on 119er.
So you're proving per device. So you're saying to the person, generate a key, and then they send it to you for you to be able to put it onto your server. How are you sending that and receiving it? How's that being?
Hotel 13 Heavy, did you hear my last transmission?
So they run through their program. It shows them how to generate a key on their front end portal, and then in the screen share, you can grab that key and then put that into the server.
Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 13 Heavy, acknowledge last transmission.
I was going to say, but in order for that to work, you need to have a back-end repository which you can then configure.
Charlie Hotel 13 Heavy IFR flight plan is cancelled. Radar service terminated. Squawk 1200. Maintain VFR. Frequency change approved.
Okay, so you're going to need you're going to need a shitload of storage space. And have you considered what kind of server space you're going to have? That's multiple versions. Yeah. What's your uptime requirement? Yeah, so the point being is like, only when people are working will they need to access it, and if it were to be unavailable, people will still have local copies that they can work on to create content. When it comes online, then it will be, so it's not like this needs to be a continuous connection. Well, people making changes and not being able to sync. Also, it does actually prevent people working from it. So people are working on the live content, but then it's making duplicates of instances as it continues on. So when someone then makes an iteration, it saves as a new instance, right? But the old one, so the latest version. So if there was version 1 that I made and I finished it, you could then go in and edit that once I'd finished, and then it would save yours as version 2. But no one can access version 1 that I've made until you've finished editing it. Yep. Library book. Remember those things, folks? Alright, so again, thinking, because I'm just doing this training, why could this not be on the cloud? In the sense of something like an AWS hosted environment? Yes. That is the only thing that we have on our thing, is if you have no internet, then what? So absolutely right. But what you were saying is using it as a backup. Did you just alter course? Oh right, okay. How? Where? I don't see that. Are you checking in VFR? No, I see a green straight line dotted off to our right. How zoomed in are you? Maybe my zoom settings are not as good. Where do you... There. Right, right screen looking up. No, not seeing it. So, I've got the false horizon. And I've got the... Oh, I see the green dot come on now. Chrono, side stick priority. No, don't see it. Yeah. help me find this thing, which is the zoom for this. I don't have them. We've got different dashboards. I'm on the left seat. So on the left seat, I've got... Hang on. Can't hear myself speak over this engine noise. Right. On the left seat, I've got my false horizon. To the right of that, I've got a black screen with the green lights, which is the one I want to zoom out. Above that, I have two squares, the master caution and the acknowledge master warning in a vertical line. To the right of that, I've got a chrono written in orange and a side stick priority. Right again onto the flight director. I've got right, okay. That's plan mode. Oh my gosh. Okay. I've changed both of them. But are you seeing it change as I move it? Right, okay, so you're set to plan. Nav, I had mine to arc, I think it was. Mine was set to arc. Yeah, so you've got yours on nav. Is the set ND's max range. I was on 10. Come on, change. 40. Oh my good gosh. Yeah, line us up to XE KRI. Beautiful. Lovely. Lovely. Where's my screen? It is. I just see clouds. Lots of clouds and a beautiful starry sky. I thought it was. It says anti-ice, de-ice detected, and it says engine 1 anti-ice is on, engine 2 anti-ice is on. What did you do? Where? Up, overhead, engine 1 and 2. Sweet. So, I was thinking with your, what is it, Philippines and stuff, or wherever you're going to have these potential people working out of. The world, that's really well. Excuse me. That's really why I'm thinking having AWS as your hosting environment, because of its geographic locations and availability time. Yep. Yep. Now, here's the thing. How much, excuse me, how much you are willing to spend on buying a rack, buying the uninterruptible power supply, UPS, the heating, ventilation, air conditioning, HVAC. Cabling, setting up licenses, administering. Okay. Having it running on a desktop machine as a local hard drive is a really bad idea. Now, are you thinking cost saving, or are you thinking just ease of? Because here's the thing: if you have it set up as a desktop on a local machine with a Windows 10 operating system, you're not going to be able to have people connecting to that device to access that application multiple times. I think it has a limit, at least XP did, and I think Windows 7 was the same, of 11 consecutive connections that you could share a local drive with. That is not the right way to do it. Not only is it an issue with the local machine, but also that's your single point of failure on that device if anything happens hardware-wise. But also, you'll have one network card, one network point, and that bandwidth restriction. Okay. So if people are trying to upload files to it, so if they're committing files, if they've done something local, I'm guessing the file sizes themselves are going to be pretty big. Working with Creative Studio in one of my previous jobs, they had a network attached storage device that I was talking about before. So like having your own computer, but you don't have a mouse, keyboard, screen, it just sits there with hard drives and a network cable. And the connection was horrendous. Trying to upload high resolution digital imagery, and the connection to upload and download was just ridiculous. Now, no, I'm just running through the options. That being said, the same bandwidth constriction will be applicable to your AWS account, because you will be restricted by your internet connection. So even though AWS would be amazing because it would be available to anyone around the world, and you would have resilience and all the security and everything in place, and the cost saving by spinning it up and then shutting it down when you don't need it and all the rest of it, you're still restricted to however many people are in your office all using that one internet connection to upload and download these mega files. And that will be a constraint, that will be a big issue. So AWS would be great if you had a lease line, tier 1 lease line, like a dedicated 100 gig fiber to one of AWS edge things. It is, yeah, so if you had an outside dedicated connection, fiber backbone from your office to AWS, where they have these edge connections around the world. So you phone up BT and say, BT, rather than me connecting my router to your exchange over that green box down the road, blah de blah de blah, and going through the cloud, right? Because that's all you do is your router connects to a BT exchange, and then from there it goes out to the world. The IP address that you have on your computer at home comes from their exchange. It's not actually on your router. Did you know that? Yeah. So your IP, public IP address, is assigned to your router, but it's not actually visible to the cloud at your premises. It's visible at wherever the endpoint is in their exchange. So, yeah, so that's a common misconception. Your internet isn't actually from your wall socket. it's not like your neighbour could talk to your computer if they were to go to the junction box on the telephone pole and then come down to you. It doesn't work that way. You have to go all the way into the exchange, hit your IP, and then come all the way back again. Anyway, so that would only work if you had an actual dedicated route from your office to the BT. Let me take BT as an example, to the BT exchange, and then BT exchange, instead of plugging you into the global internet baseband to say, there you go, be free, it would directly connect you straight to AWS. So you wouldn't actually be able to access the internet. I'm getting really quiet from you for some reason. Hang on, let me try turning up. Try again? Yeah, it's just gone really quiet. Oh, that's better. But you need internet, right, in your office? Nah, it's going to be home fiber. Totally. You're on spot. But that's why I'm fully on board with you having the primary as an on-site and your consultants connecting in through your internet broadband or whatever you're going to have, and they would then have to pull data off of live data off of the thing, or they could connect to your AWS backup and pull up of that. Latency and everything, yeah. Imagine trying to download a few gig over a yeah, it's magic, Nick. It's magic. So yeah, I think for your purpose, for your business case purpose, my recommendation is still you have a local network repository in your office with a file store which everyone can access as fast as possible to upload mega high files. So this is again going back to what I was saying with having LAN fiber, and then for your repository, for your backup repository, or having people connecting into your on-site on-prem, they just use your standard. Now your broadband into the office is probably going to be on an Ethernet switch. So it sounds like your managed office will be like one normal company office, which would have one ISP in, and then they are going to split that ISP connection to multiple tenants off of their LAN connections and charge you for your internet in your rates. said that. The office. That sounds like you can get. Sounds like it's bullshitting you. And I'll tell you, you can get a 1 gig LAN cable. One gig internet does not exist in the UK unless you are a major enterprise. You will. I mean, what's he saying? How much would it cost a month? One gigabit or 1 gigabyte. GBPS. 1 gigabit per second. So it's actually 1/8. No. So it's 120 megabytes per second. As I was saying, so then you're looking to get a home broadband, premium home broadband into your office. Okay, so let's just cut off the internet and how you broadband and everything, and just focus on how many desktops you're going to have, how many colleagues, clients. Will you ever go above 14? Ridiculous amounts of money. Okay, so what you want to do for a very quick fix is have a 16 port gigabit switch. Are they going to be sharing files between machines, or are they only going to be sharing files between the repository to the direct client? Shared drive would still be a central repository, like a hub and spoke. So your shared drive is not on someone's computer. It is a shared drive on a server, and everyone accesses that one point, as opposed to, Nick, you've got a file on your C drive I need to access, and I'm going to dump files onto your computer. Yeah, so there's a difference between a couple of grand, basically. If you wanted a switch, no, I'm still up above the clouds. I see a cloud back far right. Weather. It says live with blue, but it's greyed out. Live weather on the drop down, yeah. Probably because my graphics are so crap that they decided to put clouds in and stuff. Yeah. It's all set. I don't want to play with it. Oh, okay. So, yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, different kinds of switches. So you can have the ones which will do routing of traffic based on quality of service. So you have QoS, RIP, routing of information protocol, and that basically prioritizes certain packets sent from a specific IP address. So say someone's computer is deemed more important or is more crucial work or whatever, their packets will then be flagged and sent through at higher priority, which basically means that you can then assign a port on each of on the switch, an IP and a priority, and manage it. Right, so that's awesome. Exactly, it's an intelligent switch, which basically means that you can then say, you know what, that user's pissed me off, I'm gonna throttle the down to 100 or 10 meg or something. Yeah. But the beauty of that is, if you then have people who are sharing data between two machines, so say you wanted your computer and my computer, we had to change a lot of data between our machines, not the server, we could then do a full duplex with high priority from port 1 to port 5, if I was on 5, you were on 1, and the data between 1 and 5 would not touch any of the other ports. It would be like it was a continuous connection, like a physical wire between your machine and my machine, uninterrupted by any other data. Because data doesn't go in parallel, it all goes through the same circuitry, it all goes through the same physical wiring. If you've got a fiber or if you've got a LAN or whatever going from that router to the server, some data has to stop like a traffic system and merge on a highway. So those really expensive routers basically split off like an A road between your house and my house, and no other traffic's allowed on it. Right? So that's why I was asking if you would need to do computer to computer with high priority. If not, a standard switch with gigabit ports will be fine. If you with a reverse cable, you can't just use a standard Cat6, it has to be reverse. At least it used to. Okay, so anyway, standard gigabit port, but I would go one step further because of the file sizes. If you're thinking on a daily basis, you're going to need to upload gigabytes of data and sharing files and gigabytes of data and stuff, then you want a fiber. You definitely want fiber from the server to the the switch. With 8 people sending data to the server, you definitely want a fiber connection. And then off of that switch is your choice of whether you then want to have Cat6 copper, or you want to have a fiber with a copper to fiber connector. So you have a fiber socket. Well, so the front of the socket is where you plug in your Cat6 cable, your LAN Ethernet. But on the back of that, it converts to a fiber which plugs into your switch. So it's actually fiber to that point in the wall. The bottleneck is from the wall to your computer. I mean, some people say it's better, but unless you've got a fiber network point in the back of your PC, hey, if you could do that, if you could get a fiber network connector, you could have 10 gig per second straight to the fiber router, dedicated fiber router, 10 gig per second, straight to the server. You're connected. you'd have to run NVRMEs for the hard drives, flash drives, as opposed to running drives or SSDs. Have proper NVRMEs or NVMREs, can't remember the acronym. Non-volatile memory something. Prepare to change heading left. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving this chat while we're flying. It's probably what pilots do, you know, they just choose. What did you? Oh, I want to see a movie. Oh, really? What did you see? Anyway, I'll just keep it right of the destination. So yeah, I would say if you're doing ground up and you're speccing for, this is what I was saying before, if you're speccing for your desktops, do you know what desktops you get yet? Going to have obviously an office set up in their home location. Well, it's going to be a terrible bottleneck because then you have their home broadband connection regardless of your office broadband connection, so they could be on 20 meg or worse. So that's where you'd need to have local storage, but then if they're tucking that local storage under their arm, what happens if they drop it? What happens if it gets nicked? What if they leave it on top of the car? You need encryption on that. USB, yeah. But then you can have issues where people won't be able to log in because they've broken their USB or they've lost a USB or whatever. And then your whole hard drive and everything, all the contents are fucked because there's no way you can get away with that. Okay. Are we? Not on mine. Mine was set to 330 speed and it's doing 330 on mine. What's the altitude on yours? Altitude on mine is 25. What's your barometer setting? $2,992, yeah? And you're getting the tick 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 tick. What's your speed readout? What's your speed? Okay. Do you see me changing the speed on the dash? That's what I'm thinking. Alt tabbing. Says servers looks good, still shows you connected. I put it down to 300. What's your set now? Your set. What do you mean by your set? The speed director. Your speed director set to 320. Can you change your speed director? See if it changed on mine. I see you going 326, 4, 321, 320. Okay, so yeah. So if I now set that on my screen to 300, do you see on the flight director it's changed? Do you see the blue triangle on a vertical? And do you see the speed of the aircraft reduce? So that's a desync issue then. Okay, so can you set? So you will need to set the speed. So we both got it. Let's reset the speed then to 320, please. No, you have to jiggle it about so it changes on mine. There you go. See, mine was running at 300. And when you jiggled it, it went straight from 300 to 320. Now I'm picking up speed. Okay. Right. Set yours to 300. I see 296, 300. Right, I'm now going to set mine to 300. So now we're in sync. What button did you have to press? No, I don't know what you mean. So I see the speed on the flight director or the speed on the vertical horizon? Yep. 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 Engage selected airspeed mode. Reduce yours to 300 again. Because I changed mine to 3. Okay. And what is your actual speed indicator showing? Right. Have you got... AP1 is on. A throttle. Disconnect auto throttle. We got auto throttle on. Okay. Do you see the engine completely idled? Right, is your speed reducing? Have you got a throttle on yours as well, an actual controller? Is your throttle controller set to idle? Okay, so now if you hit throttle on the flight director, with speed set to 300. Just wondering if that was what was causing the desync. Mine's still dropping. I'm not seeing anything on the actual screen increasing. Hang on a sec. That's right. So I'm going to turn off the auto throttle again, and I'm going to engage it again. My side. Let's see if that does anything. Oh, so that could be the problem. Is that it was actually running on manual throttle. Right. Auto throttle off. Spooling up the engines. Yeah. Look. Do you see the engine spooling up on the screen? .230. Alright, let me know if it gets... It's weird how auto throttle doesn't work. I have to manually throttle it up. I've had the throttle set to keep us going for some reason. To the yellow marker. Do you see the yellow marker on the thing? Yeah, I just set my throttle to where the blue was in the yellow. Like that. 240, so it's a definite 20. Okay. That's interesting. Right, I've just set it to 260. Auto throttle on. 260 on the flight director, and on the screen it did go down. On your speed, on your flight director. If your starts going crazy, what's it currently on your actual flight speed? So it is mine plus 20. Okay. What's the fastest overspeeding? Okay, so if I set it to 280, then it's 300. So if I set it to 300, it's 320. Okay. 300 on mine. There we go. Yep. Are we good for our heading? We're sort of facing 3.5, but the green line of our heading is going to 3.4. What's going on there? That's our predicted heading, which must be because of crosswind. So we're going to have some. So let's change our heading to. And try to compensate. Because normally the green line should be directly up at 12 o'clock. I'm seeing it going off at like 11. No. Maybe I should come up to the right seat. No. I love how I can just scoot across. It's pretty cool. No. But in theory, the depth should be the same as the stable with more added. Right, let me see if I can read this. GS433 TAS 424. DTNA, I'm guessing that means destination. 26 nautical miles. Ooh. 14 minutes. Okay, let's see if we've got any ATC. I've got Copenhagen Central 11943. Is that where we're going? Retry with the last IFR flight plan. Requesting IFR to Landvetter. Cleared to Landvetter Air Force as filed. Good. radar contact FL 250. Climb, maintain flight level 290, knowledge. Climb flight level 290. Yep. Radar contact is at flight level 250, continues to following heading 040. Yep, so we're on our way to Detna. Resume navigation, climb and maintain flight level 2900. We need to increase our altitude to 2900. Let's ignore what they say then. So how did you do that? Oh, now I'm getting shit from ATC. Cancelling up. So we're going to Detna, that's our point, front left. Yep. So I saw them managed for the speed. Altitude is the same, engage managed heading mode. Engage managed altitude mode. Yeah. And where was the flight plan that you put in? Really? So all of that was taken care of there, we didn't need to do it in the actual plane. That was a missing. I thought you did it. I had these keypads in my test. In my PyLabs test. So you had headphones on, you had a joystick with a flight path, a glide path, and in one ear it was telling you your altitude, in the other ear it was telling you numbers and letters, and you had to key in on your right ear the numbers and the letters and commit whilst listening to your altitude changes, and then you had to press a thumb button if it was an increase in altitude, or a finger trigger if it was a decrease in altitude. And maintain center on the glide path as well. I know, and that was the one that the guy came in. Did I tell you the story? So the guy who'd been doing it for like years, he came in after the exam. I was sat down to get an interview and stuff. Big guy burst into the interview room. He's like, "Is this the guy? Is this the guy?" He's like, "Yeah." I want to shake your hand. And I was just like, what the fuck? And he grabbed my hand and gave me a really firm shake. Said, in all my years, that is the best score we've ever had. I will see you in, flight school. Bloody well done. And they said in something like 19 years, that was the best that they've ever had or something. I've kept it and I've laminated and all the rest of it. And yeah, they said never have they seen where the difficulty increases, the gradient that you achieve either maintains the same or slightly dips. Normally it goes down at a steep 45-degree angle. The more difficulty increases, the less interactive the individual is to cope. Mine was virtually horizontal. And they were like, that was bloody amazing. Anyway, big-headed. That's when I said I should have been a pilot. Told me how much it cost, and I was like, oh, okay, 80 grand, no thanks. Right, I see that our approach, so I'm going to scoot the range down a bit. Alright, we really need to lose some. Yeah. 23 knots, yeah. But it's, as I say, it's all on auto nav. Right. No, I'm still above the clouds. Okay. Ding dong, ding dong. There's a toilets button up here somewhere, I remember seeing. There it is. Toilet, there you go. Dong. I'm still above clouds, so. Are you still recording? Oh my good god. All that stuff I've been talking about is now working. Oh dear. Well, I guess it's good for us later. Yep. Right, can you tune into our local, get our barometer setting so we get a decent altitude setting, please?
Malmo Center, Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 1 Tree Heavy is type Airbus A20N 4 miles northeast of save 12,000.
And lights are on.
Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace.
Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 1 Tree Heavy Malmo Center. Walk 0527.
Squawk 0527 Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 1 Tree Heavy.
Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 1 Tree Heavy radar contact 7 miles northeast of save 11,100 feet. Clear through the Charlie airspace.
Going through the cloud cover.
Cleared through the Charlie airspace. Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 1 Tree Heavy.
Airport information Sierra 00000. Wind 22 tree at 5. Visibility tree. Sky condition few clouds at 1,100 feet. Few clouds at 4,000 feet. Few clouds at 11,800 feet. Temperature 20. Dew point 10. Altimeter 29.902. Final S runway tree in use.
Okay.
Landing and departing runway tree. DSR aircraft, say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller, on initial contact, you have Sierra.
I have not contacted ATC, I will now.
Grandmeadow Airport information.
So, Almo.
00000. Wind 22 tree at 5.
Nearest airport, ESGG Landvetter. Tuning into Landvetter Tower. maintain runway 3. 912. I got altitude 2912. Yep. Did you see me changing QNH? Yeah, as you're changing yours, it's changing mine as well. Okay, I'm on arc with ND's max range 20, down to 10. Yeah, I went to one straight. No. When we get to 88 DME, then we'll go stage 1 flaps. 5,000. I'm actually getting a bit nervous. 5,000. Right, you are on autopilot, yeah? I've just got clouds, still in clouds. Okay. I've got 4,200 feet. Are you on 2912, yeah? Okay, I'm not seeing. We're not flying over it, we're still miles away, 4.5 miles away. No, I got completely grey. I'll tell you what, let's prepare go around. Precisely. Taking us back up. I still have autopilot engaged. Now autopilot's disengaged. Okay, well what we're going to do is, now that I've got us a bit of altitude, we're at flight level, I'm just going to controls over to you. Giving control, you have control. Check control surface responsiveness and engines. I was just going to try external camera to see if it's anything to do with that. is quite literally we are flying through fog.
Landvetter Tower, Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 1 Tree Heavy is 8 miles southwest with Sierra to land.
Speedbird Echo, Charlie Hotel, 1 Tree Heavy Landvetter Tower. Mid, straight, in runway tree. Altimeter, 29.9 wind 22 tree is 5.
Fly straight in runway tree, Speedbird Echo Charlie Hotel 1 Tree Heavy.
Okay, the volumetric flights, you mean? Okay. I've done set it to ultra and it's just grey. Yep, doing those now, running through. Even low end, I'm just seeing cloud. It's the weather that's played. Right now, let me just... You carry on. Carry on. I'm hoping that when we get below a certain altitude, I'll be able to see. Medium. Everything's medium. Flaps to stage 1. Set. I'm showing as overspeed.
Too low. Terrain.
Oh dear. What happened there? As I was saying, I didn't see anything outside. Right, gotta exit that because that's just making too much noise. What a shame after that nice flight. It was cloud cover all the way across. When you were saying, "Oh, I can see, the ground below," I was like, all I saw was cloud.